Hello, everybody. This is ex Bethelite, and I want to talk a little bit about the word apostate. And this is a controversial thing in the sense that people have different opinions about it. And my view is that that word apostate may apply to some people who were former Jehovah's Witnesses, but does not apply to everyone who was a former Jehovah's Witness. Let me explain. If a person leaves a specific religious belief or concept, then that person can be stated to be an apostate because the definition would fit that particular person. However, if a person develops a specific religious belief and then finds out that they were fooled, they were tricked, the concepts, the beliefs, the principles that they believe in and believed in the entire time are not being upheld by a specific religious group, then it's the religious group that has left and dissented from that specific religious belief or the ideals that the person held. So the question with regards to being or not being apostate stems in who left the specific religious beliefs. Now, I have friends that I talk to. I'm not going to name names. I haven't gotten the permission to name names, but there are people who talk about Jehovah just as much as they did before. There are people who talk about Christ just as much as they did before. There are people who are just as active with scripture and prayer and living a Christian life as they were before, maybe more so now. If a person picks up the Bible, reads the scriptures, falls in love with what they are reading, and decides to be a Christian, someone who emulates Jesus Christ, someone who really connects with the story and the principles and everything that Jesus Christ stood for, and that person decides to try to be like Jesus Christ in being baptized, but later finds out, due to them not having a certain amount of knowledge at one point and then gaining a knowledge later about a particular organization or particular group of people or particular pastor or whatever the case may be, that this no longer represents Christianity and the various principles and guidelines that fall under the category of what that person believed the entire time. The entire time they held these beliefs. And they find that an organization has fallen from that. The organization has left. Not the person who did something wrong. Who did something wrong? The person or the organization? And it's not even that you have to have done something wrong to be considered apostate. However, the path, the Christian path, what is outlined in the Bible, in Scripture, if that is what a person has grasped onto and decided to follow, and a specific religious group that they identified with, I'm not talking about a person left Christ, a specific religious group that they identified with, such as Jehovah's Witnesses, they decide to no longer be affiliated with that particular group. Have they left their religious beliefs or religious principles or anything that they felt prior? If the answer is no, this person has literally never left any of the beliefs that they had prior, it just seems inaccurate to use the word apostate with regards to that particular person, because they never changed. There's a thousand different denominations out there. Now, you would almost have to call darn near everybody an apostate. I mean, there'd be so many people that you would call an apostate because they were raised in one of these denominations, and their view of Christianity, or what a follower of Christ should be, their view of that may not match up with whatever in the world it was they were raised in. Does that person now have to be called an apostate? If that person's view of Christianity and daily walk with Christ has never changed, nothing's changed other than this particular religious organization is not glorifying Christ or Christianity in any way, shape, or form, and I don't want to be a part of it because they're teaching things that are not true. So the person then is an apostate, or is it the religious group that has gone rogue? And you just found out that they went rogue. In my case, I would have to say that as a youth, I picked up the Bible and began to read and pray about what I was reading. And this continued on a regular basis to where a relationship was then built. I mean, regularly talking to and then regularly receiving information on a daily basis. Once this relationship had been established, there was a desire to then identify with the person and principles surrounding everything that I was beginning to really gravitate towards, beginning to really get close to. And in doing that, the common thing to do is to join the religion that your parents are part of if you are a child when this happens. Because if you're a child, the only thing you know is the religion that your parents raised you in. And in my case, and in the case of many Jehovah's Witnesses, they're not raised with the option of a religion. Be different if a person had the option of Catholic, Baptist, Pentecostal, you name it. You can pursue that if that lines up with your walk with Christ, and then that person pursues that, and then that person leaves. that particular religious group after doing the research and everything. No, you're not given the option. So if you want to follow Christ as a youth and you're raised as a Jehovah's Witness, you're not given the option to look into other religions. You will be disciplined to even walk into a particular church. So no, you're not given the option. Once a person then comes to the understanding and knowledge that there are other options, and oftentimes they don't even look into this until they find out that the religious group that they're a part of is falling short of what is described in the Bible as a Christian group. If you're a part of a group that has gone rogue from Christianity and you're a Christian, of course you're going to leave that group. Now, are you then an apostate for leaving a group that is apostate? The Jehovah's Witnesses claim to be Christian. The Jehovah's Witnesses claim to represent God, and with that claim, that verbal claim, there has to be tangible evidence supporting that claim. If they fall short of that, if they veer to the left or veer to the right, they have gone apostate. Then a person can be apostate. Why can't a group of people be apostate? A group of people can't be apostate? Okay, well, if a group of people can be apostate, have the Jehovah's Witnesses veered from their claim in representing Christ? If they have veered from this claim, either by making claims, scriptural claims that aren't in the Bible, Jesus being Michael the Archangel, if that's not in the Bible, you have made a mistake. You have veered from Scripture, the plain Scripture, scriptural truths. If you have veered from those by predicting dates, the individual member, the rank and file members, don't have control over that. They can't control. They can't stop it. If it's things like that are going on, the only thing they can do is no longer be a part of it. The group has gone apostate then. So how can a person leaving an apostate group be an apostate? It just doesn't make sense, because then the group and the person are now apostate. It seems like one or the other. There's a clear path here. To be an apostate, you leave that path. If the group has left and you continued going straight, and the group is pointing at you as being apostate, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm still on the straight and narrow. You guys have left, and you guys are off to the left, far left, following Watchtower rather than following Christ. How can you be an apostate if you're still on the straight and narrow? Now that path may lead you to investigate various religions. If you investigate the Baptist and decide that that's not where you want to be, if you investigate the Catholic Church and that's not where you want to be, are you a double and triple apostate? You know what I mean? If you're still continuing the straight and narrow, you're still following Christian principles, and that is what you claim to be a Christian. Then how are you haven't left? If you were aware of, Watchtower's teachings and decided to be a member of Watchtower and follow Watchtower and then left Watchtower, well, then you would have a claim of being an apostate. But if you never decided to follow Watchtower, your decision was to follow Christ. And left Watchtower, I mean, that you got Christ and you got Watchtower. I mean, you haven't left the primary thing that you should be following. I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over, but this is kind of my view on it. You guys let me know what you think about this topic. It's a big, broad topic because some may view it as a rebellion against Watchtower, and in that rebellion against Watchtower, they want to cherish the name apostate. I think it depends on the definition. If that's their definition, then I can totally, completely understand that. Watchtower's done so much damage to people that any name that signifies a walking away from or running away from or a dissension from Watchtower, a person would wear that as a badge of honor. So if the word apostate is being used to describe someone who's left Watchtower, I can see people just, oh, I love that. I'm going to put that on my license plate. Apostate, that just sounds great because it's, I'm leaving Watchtower, and Watchtower is doing what it's doing, and you find out about what's happened to children and things like that, and what's happened to people's families utterly and totally destroyed. I was talking to a friend today, and we both grew up in the religion, and my friend was telling me that, having a close family and having close friends and things that are kind of normal to most people, he don't even know what it's like. And I told him, to a large degree, I know what you mean. Family and what is that? Friends and close associations and close associations that continue over a course of a number of years. What is that? That is something that has done considerable impact on people's lives, considerable damage to people's lives. If you don't even know what is common to most people, you don't even know what that's like, I would say that qualifies as something that is a major change or major alteration or major damage that's been done to that specific person, and you're obviously going to have some animosity towards a religious group that has done that much damage to you. So the word apostate, or any word that signifies a breaking away from something that damaging, people are going to wear that like a crown of honor. And I understand that, and I guess overall, my view on it has a lot to do with what is that person's definition of the word apostate. If the definition in their mind is, well, you left from one belief to another belief, that doesn't really fit with some people, because they didn't leave their belief. They found out that the religious group they were a part of didn't fit the belief that they always had. That, or they became aware later of information that would have kept them from ever joining had they known in the beginning. They'd have never joined the group. There is a ambulance out here that went into the fire department, spun around, came out, and it's still got the sirens going. So hopefully they get to wherever it is that they're supposed to be. But you guys let me know what you think about that. I know Watchtower uses it as kind of, you know, depicting someone who is a traitor. And you could use that if the person's allegiance was ever to Watchtower. If your allegiance was to God the whole time, then Watchtower had no claim over you to begin with. You were with Watchtower because you didn't have a choice in the matter anyway. You didn't have a choice because, you know, you were raised in that particular religious group and was never given a choice. So to say you picked something and then veered from it is inaccurate. To say even that you veered from your beliefs is inaccurate. If you're Christian and you continue to be Christian and Watchtower is not Christian, you know, you don't call somebody that switches from one library to another library an apostate. It has to be a specific belief that they left. Not just anything that they left, not just an organization that they left, a belief. If you left an organization, does that make you an apostate? If you never left the belief. With regards to Christianity and growing in your knowledge and understanding, and that includes getting a Bible that's more accurate than the New World Translation, and you read it and you comply with what it says, and what it says is different from what the Watchtower Bible says. You're following your belief and your convictions, and walking with Christ. None of that's changed. Your level of knowledge changed. Does your level of knowledge changing? Going from, like, let's say a 3rd grade level of knowledge to a 10th grade level of knowledge, does that mean you left your beliefs, or does that mean that you now know more than you knew before and are applying that knowledge? And in applying that knowledge, you're not going to be a part of a false religion. You guys, again, let me know what you think. This is ex-Walk Hill Bethelite signing out.